Welcome to the Success Revenue Podcast, the only podcast in the Middle East that brings you leaders in customer success, account management, sales, and go-to-market to share ideas, perspectives, and value learnings on how to successfully drive revenue, delight customers, and take it to the next level.
We are your host. I'm Haider Al-Sad, CEO of RevSetter, the modern customer success and management platform, advisor board member, and now local resident in Dubai. And also have my lovely co-host here with me, Ivy Ferrero, CS executive, keynote speaker, advisor, and many, many other great things. And yeah, we could be more happy and excited to welcome you to another episode during season 1 of the Success Revenue Podcast. Welcome, everyone.
Today's guest is someone that has long experience in the FinTech space. During this episode, we'll dive into everything FinTech and explore several super interested areas.
And here are 3 key things you'll take away listening to this episode today. You'll learn more about CS and account management, how they can work hand in hand, and why they should work hand in hand today. You'll also learn a lot more about the development of CS within the FinTech space, especially in the Middle East, and how that's progressed over the last several years. And lastly, you'll also learn a lot about the challenges and also the opportunities of scaling CS in the space, as well as in the Middle East in the coming years. Some very exciting conversation to listen to today. Awesome, Ivy. I'm very excited for today's episode. Such an interesting guest, super interesting topic, speaking about customer success within the FinTech context and within the Middle East. But before we delve into all of that, I have a bunch of thoughts around that. It's a new year. How have you been? How's your break? Welcome back.
Welcome back. 2025. Wow. I can't believe we made it to this year. I feel like there has been so much that has been happening in the last year alone, but I'm so excited for what customer success has to offer to the Middle East. I feel like this is the primary reason why you and I are here. We're here just to make sure that we amplify customer success in the Middle East with our background, given that we have so much experience in the US. And yeah, I'm so excited to also be able to give a platform to other CS leaders here in the Middle East, for them to share their knowledge and for us to really grow this community of CS leaders here.
Yeah, no, I couldn't say better. I totally agree. And it's like you said, it's crazy kind of getting out to 2024, which was extremely busy and crazy year for most people. And having a nice little break to kind of disconnect and being back into the full swings here for 2025 is feels awesome and feels great being in this region that's kind of just buzzing with excitement, and especially around customer success, account management, customer experience, go to market in general on the customer facing side. I feel will have a kind of massive development over the next couple of years, and it's just pleasure to be able to do this with you, and like you said, create a platform for people to come on board. So yeah, I'm very, very excited about that, and just generally the year to come here in the Middle East.
Yeah. I feel like it's so crazy. I think the one thing that I will tell people all the time is that in Dubai, or at least in the Middle East, you can smell the money in the air. This is something that I always tell people. And I feel like there's so much opportunity, especially like, let's say in Saudi, there's a lot of money that is being pumped into tech startups there. So I feel like there is a huge opportunity for a lot of companies to start implementing customer success right off the bat. And yeah, hopefully with this podcast, we're able to connect many other people within this community. I have a question for you, and it is something that obviously I've been thinking about, like, what is my word for this year and whatnot. And like, I wanted to ask you, what is your favorite prediction for 2025 for customer success?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, I mean, if you, end of the year, start of the new year, you kind of obviously think a lot about these things. And I had a few different things, but I think that maybe my favorite thing that I thought a lot about, partly because, it's in my business, but also just in general, as someone that's been in this space for 20 years, I always think about kind of what are those new things that will take us forward. But one thing that I really am excited about this year is kind of that intersection between AI and in particular AI agents and systems of AI agents, customer success, and the customer success function. And I think, there's always this talk about AI replacing humans, whether that's salespeople or customer success managers or what have you. But I think really what AI and especially these AI agents will help do is elevate and make everything a lot more efficient for people on the ground, meaning the CSMs, the account managers, the salespeople on that side of things. And whereas we might not necessarily scale as many people in terms of headcount, each person will become a lot more efficient, a lot more effective because of the help of these agents and the AI. So I'm really excited about that intersection, kind of how those things will connect. I think there'll be a ton of investments in that this year. And I think as we kind of progress throughout 2025, as we get to the end of the year, I think most good run organizations with CS organizations in there will have a really nice, efficient tech stack with CS tech, AI technology built into that. And those AI agents will be really there working hand in hand with the CS teams and with the customers to provide value and efficiency. So I think by the end of the year, we'll see a lot of AI, true AI agent assistants working with CSMs, working with customers in app and beyond to elevate that experience and that impact that CS will have on customer happiness, of course, and experience, but also maybe most importantly on customer revenue and company success from that perspective. So that I think
Wow.
that's my big prediction for this year. I have a lot of AI agents running around in our tech and with our CSMs out there.
Wow, I love that. I love that.
Yeah, how about you? What are your thoughts on that?
No, I would piggyback on that. I know you and I have had this conversation before
Yeah.
about predictive
Mm,
analysis within our customer
right.
base and how we can eventually get to that. I'm not sure we've talked about this, like how accurate can it actually be when
Right.
there's so many moving pieces. It depends on what industry you're on and what sort of like are the success metrics within your industry. But it would be amazing if we were to get to a point at some point where there is a very, very good, accurate, predictive analysis that, as what you mentioned, is not about, I don't think it's about AI replacing customer success managers, but more so helping us to be more efficient.
Yeah.
So if I could dream about something, it would be about definitely having predictive analysis.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And I think we're very close to have, and we have some already, but like you said, the accurate version of that, the really accurate version, I think we're getting pretty close to that now. So, yeah, I think that's a great prediction, Ivy, and definitely something that will apply across CS. And maybe, in particular, today's topic, we'll talk about the FinTech space, where there's a lot of data, a lot of financials and projections and whatnot. I think that's one of the areas where we'll see a lot of the predictive models come into play and the agents and those systems of agents as well. So super exciting and then super in line with, today's conversation as well.
Amazing. Amazing. Yeah. So what if we go ahead and just bring in our first guest?
Yeah, I'm super excited about it. Let's do it. Go ahead.
All right. Well, I am so excited today because we are joined by a true veteran in the fintech industry, Arti Sogani, who serves as the lead customer success manager at Temenos, one of the world's leading banking software companies. Arti, you truly are a veteran in the space. You have 14 years in the fintech industry, transforming banking experiences across the Middle East, from Saudi Arabia to the UAE. And Arte, I'm sure you would agree that your expertise lies in building lasting partnerships between banks and technology and helping financial institutions navigate digital transformation with a data-driven approach. Arte, welcome to the Success Revenue Podcast. Now, did I miss anything in that first introduction? What else would you like to add?
You missed nothing. And first of all, let me start by saying very happy new year, guys. And I'm so
The new
excited to
year.
speak with you
Yeah.
guys today. And thank you so much for having me. Like, it's really, really nice of you. So thank you so much. Okay, so I totally have 18 years of industry experience. I started,
Wow.
I'm an engineer. And then I did my management from one of the best B schools in India. So I'm like basically technologist as well as, I know the business side very well. So, I manage both techno functional things. And that's why I can help strategize and build long term relationships, as you said, with the banks and ensure that they leverage our product to the fullest. And it's not just about that. It's about building relationships, having customer satisfaction, and then eventually adding up to their success because their success is our success.
Oh, I love it. I love
Awesome.
it.
Yeah.
And Arti, you are based here in Dubai, and do you get to travel a lot within the Middle East to visit all of these wonderful clients that you have?
Absolutely. So let me tell you something. So I call Dubai home since 2011. So I've been in Dubai since 2011. And with my role at Temenos, I've been working with Temenos for past 5 years. And I actually manage the entire MEA region. So
Wow.
that's why I get to travel to all of these places, beautiful places like Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, and all the other countries. Like I will not tell you the entire list, but yes. So, so just to tell you, we work with 320 banks in Middle East and
Ah,
Africa. That sounds a
wow.
lot, right? Like
Yeah.
that sounds a
Plus,
lot. Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. So
very
yes.
cool.
Wow. And how big is your team at the Memos for to be able to manage that many accounts? How big is your team?
So we are 8 customer success managers. So let me tell you a brief story. So when I started with Temenos 5 years back, that was a time when customer success was just getting familiarized in Middle East. So I know in US this function has been going on since quite some time, or I must say also in European regions, but in Middle East and Africa. This was not like very well known, like people used to really get confused about what is the difference between customer success and then account management or customer support? So most of the time, they categorize like that. So when we started, we were only two folks, and we were given the challenge to ensure to bring that customer success perspective um, uh, within the organization and prove that it works and it is something. And I'm so proud that and now, because we made it so successful in Middle East and Africa, Temenos has adopted it as a global strategy, and we have like 30 plus customer success managers globally. So yeah,
Yeah.
Wow, that
That's
is
awesome.
incredible.
Yeah, that's awesome, Artie. And it's so interesting, right? You've been in the space, the fintech space for quite some time, and you mentioned also kind of the evolution of CS that you've seen as well in the Middle East. I'm kind of curious, can you talk to us, how are you seeing that development in your domain in the fintech space and kind of how it kind of connects to CS as you're just talking about? How are you curious about that?
yeah, absolutely. So basically, see, initially, even we were trying to, build that thing within the organization that how we can add value. Like there is an account manager, there is a support team, but there was nobody who is actually so close to customers to manage the customer sentiments, to listen to them anytime, like build these long-term relationships.
Right.
Because every function has the focus. So there has to be a function which does a customer 360. So
Hmm.
basically, at any given point of time, they can call us and say, Arti, can you help me with the support team? They're not responding to me. Or, Arti, we need this new feature in the product. There are some new regulations coming. So, the best thing about our role is we started building that. So, we first started customer 360 as a criteria.
Hmm.
We became voice of customer within the organization, and then, slowly we started bringing in values. Like we started getting new ideas on the product development for our R&D team. So we have this, war rooms on quarterly basis, guys. We have a roadmap as an organization always, but what is best for our customers? And customers absolutely loved it. They started feeling that we care for them a lot more,
Right.
and that being built in a long-term relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Super interesting. Yeah. Because I mean, as someone that's been in space like yourself for a long time and seen that transition in other markets from reactive to proactive and value creation, is that kind of the transition that you've seen and that you're explaining, that the function became a lot more proactive and focused on kind of the customer value, and is that kind of what fascinates you about the role today and kind of excites you, or where do you land there?
Absolutely. See, the role has many, many, many things that's added to it, right? So basically, it's about first of all maintaining the customer satisfaction, then about bringing value to them, because happy customers stay with you longer, and
Right. Yeah. Of
they see
course.
the value. And sometimes it's not just about that. Sometimes it's just about building the relationship, and they like that relationship so much that you are married to it. Like basically they do think that some things don't work, but we'll stay with you because we like you so much. You
Right.
maintain, you
Yeah.
listen to us, you
Exactly.
hear. And
Right.
then there are a lot of technical aspects to it as well, like as I was telling you about. So it took us like some initial 2 years to really format the function very well. But now we are all, super pepped. We know exactly what our KPIs are, and the people don't confuse us with account managers who are mostly commercial driven
Right.
or support managers. And then what drives me is I'm a people's person. Like I
For sure.
love to talk. Like I
I can see it.
literally.
Yeah. That's great.
I've seen it firsthand. I've seen it firsthand.
It's good trait in customer success to have for sure.
And then and I'm quite technical because I'm an engineer, as I said, and then I did my management, so I understand and then luckily, since my very first job, I've been into fintech space. So I worked for HSBC in Paris. I worked for Danske Bank in Denmark. So I worked in different countries and geographies as well before moving to Dubai, actually. And it was always been in that way. So I think people should take customer success very seriously, because it also relates to a lot of domain knowledge you have, and then people value you more,
Mhm.
actually. So I think there are two aspects to it. There are not just two. There is emotional, there is technical, as well as there is relationship building and customer satisfaction. So all of this. And then I was saying, like, I am people's person. So this helps me build relationships not only with the customers, but I have like the connect within the organization as well. So basically, then the R&D team is spread across multiple geographies. For us, like we have a huge set of products that we sell to customers. So it's not just one person we need to speak to. So it's so many different functions that we communicate with, and I absolutely love that. So I love challenges. I love speaking to people. So it's interesting. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I love it. Arti, I'm curious to find out if at Temenos, if you guys also own the renewal of your clients,
um
or is that a separate department?
okay. So before we used to not own renewals of the customers, but since last 2 years, since we started bringing in so much value, so we added it as one of our KPIs along with the account manager. So I would not say that we 100% own the renewal, but if I help the account me or my team, we help the account managers get the renewals done in smoother fashion, or bring the renewals early. For example, we've done it a lot, like like customers, we have some 5 years contract or 10-year contract, and then to start the early conversation, which will bring them more value and some additional benefits, because there are a lot of see, fintech, there are a lot of payment regulations, there are a lot of regulations around compliance which keep changing. And customers can benefit it because we have done it on the latest version, but they are on the older version and the renewal is due. So, since we are so close to customer, we know every nerve of them. So we can press that nerve, and then we can say, guys, this is the right time for you. This will bring you more value. This will save you so much cost. So, so yes, so we actually co-own it with the account managers.
Wow, I love that. And for me, this is also one thing that fascinates me about customer success. It's like, seems like we're really the glue that glues like so many different components within our own companies. And Arti, what I know you've spoken about your background and the different jobs that you have held, But what drew you initially to customer success? Some of us might have just stumbled upon customer success, or we had a role that was called something completely different, but truly was customer success. So, what was that transition between what you used to do and the moment that you actually did become a customer success leader?
So might make you laugh. So I was a geek. I was coding. I was coding like investment banking and treasury platforms before, and then I did coding for many years. And then I realized, like, I'm a people's person, and coders usually have to sit at the back and not get to be like a lot more customer facing. And it also came through work. Like a lot many people said, "Why are you doing this? You are better fit to be going and speaking to the customers and sitting with them rather than." So that urged, and then I did my management because, as I say, that I am kind of like a person who likes to be perfect in what you do. So it's like, okay, but if I'm going to sit with the customer and I don't want to be in a dilemma about what are the business things he is asking me, so I did my management studies. Then I shifted my role. So I did business development for like some time. And then the customer success was trending across US, and I read a lot about it, being to a lot many books and the podcasts, etc. And then this is some role which really fascinated me. And then when it came at Terminus, they said, okay, it is a challenge. Let's see if it works. So, it was really a challenge, like whether it's going to work, it's not going to work, are people going to value it? But then, yeah, so it's
Wow.
really
Yeah.
finished 5 years today. Yeah.
Yeah, that's some time to make that transition. It always takes time, right? Especially as you're establishing really a new function and new kind of mindset within the company. So that's amazing that you guys were able to do that so effectively and kind of get that off the ground, but also make it successful, right? As a proof point for the company and beyond. And kind of in that as well. Let me ask you this, Artie. Uh, it's a process like we just talked about. As you look at other organizations potentially, and as you see it specifically in the Middle East, right? What are you kind of seeing that people get wrong with how they're setting up their CS and how they're kind of scaling the CS organization? What are some of the challenges and mistakes that you see people are doing that you guys maybe did early on, adjusted to, or that you kind of avoided through some of the things that you did? I'm really curious about kind of what are those things that you're seeing out there that people might, not notice themselves, should think about that they can potentially do a little bit differently to be more effective with that scaling process.
Yes. So actually, there are a couple of things which are very important, I think. So one of that, like which Ivy turned on, Ivy asked me before, like, that it was about renewals. Like, should
Hmm.
customer success be only focusing on renewals, retention, or but as I said, the role involves a lot more. The role
Right.
is not, so it has, the KPIs has to be set correctly. Like
Hmm.
you, otherwise, there is a trend in Middle East that people really start thinking that you are customer support, like just another customer
Right.
support team, and that has to change. We bring in a lot more value to the organization. So that value is in terms of CSAT, that value is in terms of additional revenue. And I think unless you start linking your KPIs with the revenue you bring, you are not valued. So that
Right.
has to be there. Like,
Mhm.
you need to be valued because
Yeah.
see, I see customer success as a function for most of the vendor organizations, right? Like
Hmm.
product companies, because
Yeah.
I think it's very, very important that all the product companies should have this function as their core. Just to give you an analogy, like
Yeah.
if there is a supercar, you need to have a super fuel to maintain it, right?
Right. Yeah.
And
Of
if
course.
customer is the king for you, I think customer success is the fuel to keep your customer going with you. And then basically customer success adds so much value. So that has to be set with the right KPIs. It cannot be just customer support or escalation management. Like I've seen organizations who think
Mm.
customer success is only escalation management.
Yeah.
But but I think we should set like 4 or 5 top right KPIs,
Hmm.
and then it will work like magically for all the organizations.
Yeah. That's great.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love that analogy.
Yeah. I agree. I think it's really good and it just paints a very clear picture, right, of how that kind of interaction between everything works, and especially with that, yes, being the fuel of things as well, and has to be the right type of fuel, right? Fuel that the car that's going to go.
Exactly.
And just kind of piggyback off of that, Arti, uh, what would be those, four, 3 or 4 KPIs that you would recommend? So that's one question. And the second part of that question is, how do you see kind of the role of customer success in driving expansion revenue, right? And whether that's identifying and working with account management, or being involved in that type of work as well, kind of expansion and upselling, cross-selling, and beyond. But what are those KPIs, and does any of those relate to that expansion piece?
Absolutely. So actually, see, customer success and account management, first of all, should work hand in hand. So I think there should be 4 or 5 very basic KPIs for any customer success team. We should not be looked as pure commercial managers. So that's why I
Mhm.
think CSAT, it should be like taking a lot more percentage, because that's when you manage customers. See, 360, how they feel about different functions within your organization, not just one. And then, the rest of the KPIs, I think, should definitely be with how much are you helping account manager expand that account, like bringing in new opportunities or
Mhm.
new. Like basically, if you are so close to customer, you should be so well connected. I call it a mind map. You need to be
Mm.
connected to different functions within the customer. So you know their growth plans and you know your company's growth plan. So you need to have a plan for each customer. And I am a true technology lover, as you know, because I'm an engineer and
Right.
I like to work smart rather than work like lengthy hours. So
Yes.
I see that, we need to make use of tools and then opportunities, create more opportunities, which we absolutely do it today, right? So we fill in the pipeline for our account managers and then basically, help them with the expansion.
Right.
And then obviously, if you are keeping the customer happy, which was the first CSAT that you have, then the retention, revenue, etc., becomes very obvious, right? So that is like again linked to expansion and revenue
Mhm.
generation. And we also work a lot on productized services. This is something that we started as well. So we came up with quite a few areas where our services team could generate a lot more revenue, and the customers could get a lot more product value. So, for
Mhm.
example, um, uh, a customer ABC has brought a product from us, and I just go for a meeting, and he's like, I've been just paying the maintenance, and I think this product doesn't work, and I don't know why should I have it. And then we come up with health check services. We come up with services like, expert consultancy, because we have in our services team people who have like plethora of knowledge on our product, how the product has grown, developed, etc. They
Mhm.
work on multiple sites, which the customer wouldn't know. So basically, there have been magical things happening around, and I was like, oh, really? That customer was going to like just throw the product out, and we convinced them to have like 5 days of consultancy and then decide. And they love it. They love the product. They say we want to buy it more, like more number of users, more number of license. So
Right.
all these things were not happening either. Like I can't tell you. So it is very amazing to see like how we can transform work. So as I said, like because we work with services, we work
Right.
with product teams, we work with support teams. Then productized services on what you call primary support thing,
I'm
like
sorry. Yeah.
on-site support thing. So we try to focus on these areas a lot more.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wow,
Awesome.
amazing. I love it,
Awesome.
Arti. And Arti, with all of your experience in fintech, what would you say are some of like the unique challenges of managing customer success in the banking software industry?
Quite few. So, for example, I think all of us are talking about AI these days, right? And then everybody thinks that, oh, we need to have AI. Oh, we need to have, for example, like blockchain. I'm a true supporter and believer of blockchain. I think I need to have open banking. So you take the jargons when you attend some events and you start thinking about it. But it's not that easy on the technological landscape, especially in the fintech industry, because you're dealing with finances. The finance is not yours, it's somebody else's money, right? So you need to be very cautious. You need to have your technology to a level and a stack that you can adopt AI. Not everybody is able to do it. You need to have like those. So this spreading of knowledge is also very important, right? So basically, it's like they just attend a conference on AI and they think that, oh, your product doesn't support AI. No, we do, but you need to be on that technology stack. You need to do a lot more investment onto the lower layers of your stack. So basically, I think this is a major challenge that you go to the market and you understand and you always want to jump onto the brand wagon. Like, like you want to go like, oh, yes, we want to be the first one to do this. We want to, give a lot more to our customers. But yes, then you need to actually upgrade your technological stack as well, because that's very, very important. Not everything works on everything. There's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow, makes it completely makes sense. And Arti, with you managing all of the MENA region, you have navigated many of the different markets in the Middle East, from Saudi to Qatar, UAE, and beyond. What have you learned doing that, and how do you recommend tailoring solutions to the different markets in the region as a CS leader or within your team?
Absolutely. So, see, there are, I think, three or four major differences which you need to really work on. So, one is culture. Not the culture is very different as you move from UAE to Qatar to Saudi. For example, like UAE and Qatar may want to get on top of technology every time. They want to talk about innovation. They want to be on, like, the best. But when you go to Saudi, they believe in more long term, personalized relationship. They don't want, like, they want that time focusing, like they want us to spend a lot more time talking to them and making them understand things, but that's not the case in UAE and Qatar, so there's a lot of culture difference within different regions. So we really need to work and tailor around that. Even when we do our road shows, we need to be focused on, we help a lot on that to our marketing teams, that what will work in the specific region. Then I think as customer success managers, we need to be proactive than reactive. So basically, proactiveness means like knowing the compliance and regulations and what is coming within that particular region, so that we can feed in our R&D team to be up to date and be up to the mark and not get delayed. Because
Yeah.
when it comes to financial industry, regulations are very, very important. And so we try to do that, like, be a lot more proactive than reactive, actually. In terms of payments as well, when it comes, like, there are a lot of regulations that keep changing. So that is very, very important. Then, as I said, it's more about services as well. Few of the regions, so we also manage like Levant, Libya, and the regions like that, Yemen, etc.
Mhm.
So we need to be very tailored on kind of services we provide, actually. So what I mean to say is, like, we might not be able to give, when I said we do productized services, etc., we might not be able to give them, a lot more on-site services and support. But we need to be coming up with plans how we can support them at the same level or provide them the same level of service remotely. So, the tailoring around that, and even language, by the way. So, some of the areas we need to be ensuring that we have teams like based out of different regions to support the local language as well. So, that's very, very important. Yeah, and then even when we are doing our team org structure and where we are based, we ensure that we have, like, we support French speaking Africa, so we have French speaking person in the team. Obviously
Mhm.
Arabic is like quite obvious, like we have a
Oh,
lot of Arabic speaking people in the team, so that diversity is very important. And also, like, women empowerment, so we have like a good mix of male and female employees.
excellent.
And that also helps,
Yeah.
a lot, yeah.
No, that's awesome to hear. And it's anytime you could get a good diversity and skill set across the team like that, that creates just so much more synergies and impact for everyone, right? Internally, customers, and just for the team as well to grow over time. So that's awesome to hear. And we're gonna jump into some kind of rapid fire questions here in a second. But I was actually curious one more thing. We get to that. You talked about a lot of the different strategies, the way that you kind of work through and develop these things on your end and across different companies that you've worked for, which is super exciting. And one thing that I was kind of thinking about, just as you were speaking about, especially the Middle East region that is developing still when it comes to customer success and how to approach these things. What are your guys' thoughts about leveraging technology within the CS function, and how have you guys done that? What is your recommendation in terms of, whether that's AI, see customer success platforms or other things, but how do you kind of think about just the general idea of technology as part of that strategy and part of that growth that you should have from a CS perspective?
As I said, I totally support technology, and it took us some time. But 2 years back, we started with the customer success platform. I'm so happy about it because, I feel that, of course, you do a lot of good work, but when you have a very good customer success platform that reflects your work very well,
Mm,
with what kind of conversations you're having with the customers, then what kind of opportunities you're bringing in. So we lock in everything, customer sensitivity majorly for managing risk accounts, So we
yeah,
put in all the information there. So the top management knows where the focus has to be,
right.
where all the energy should go to. So we
Mhm,
implemented Churn Zero, and though we had Salesforce, so it took us some convincing that we need a separate customer success platform because since it is going global with all
right.
geographies, it's very easy, and I'm happy that people are appreciating that. People are using the reports from Churn Zero. They're putting in like a lot more. They're asking us to put certain criterias, fields, etc., so that
Right.
it will help them more and more. And then obviously AI. So as I say, like in Middle East market, personalization is something like people really like personalization. As in
Yeah.
when we work with our customers, when we get news about them, financial, non-financial, good, bad, we touch base with them immediately because we get immediate notifications. And then
Mm,
that is something that really is appreciated that, oh, yeah, you are on top of things, you know what's going around
mhm,
and
yeah.
stuff like that. And that's only possible with the help of technology. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I truly believe in customer success platforms. Yeah,
Yeah. No,
I love
that's
that.
awesome. That's awesome.
For
Yeah, go ahead,
one
Andy.
thing that I wanted to add here is like really for me, it's you cannot really be proactive if you're not implementing a customer success platform. That is truly the step when you actually go from reactive to proactive. So I find that to be extremely important for a business that has a customer success department. Obviously, knowing when to implement it and when is the right time and how to choose the right customer success tool for you, it's also equally as important as well.
For sure. For sure. I think, yeah, in general, you have the data, you have the insights, then you can take the actions, right? And any type of technology can help bring all that together, really enables your workflows, and especially can tack on some AI magic on top of that, of course. That makes things even more efficient and easy. So that's awesome, Artie. Okay, perfect. So, Artie, to kind of get you out of here on kind of the end part of the show here that we always do is we have a few rapid fire questions I would like to ask, 2, 3 questions, and then we'll wrap up with two kind of final things for you here. But I got a couple for you, just kind of rapid fire question answer. Just kind of let us know what first thing you think about. So yeah, you ready to the section, Arlie? Quick fire.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
All right.
No
Perfect. All
problem.
right. So
Drummers,
Let's go.
drummers.
exactly. All right. Okay. So first one, what's your favorite content to consume?
Favorite content otherwise would be a lot of series. So, but
Sure. On the music side,
but
love it.
yes, I do love like a lot of CS podcasts
Yeah.
actually, which I follow. So basically, I kind of like watching podcasts and listening to podcasts a lot because I think
Right.
I learn a lot. So even when I'm working out, so some of them I can say, which is like the customer success podcast by Gainsight. I think I really like that. And
Yeah.
then there is something called as the CSM Coffee Talk by Success Hacker. I don't know
Yeah.
if you guys know about that,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
that's
Sure.
quite interesting as well. Yeah. So I listen to success the podcast by Success Hacker and the Experience Excellence as well. And then I also like to manage relationships very well, so I focus on those podcasts. But yeah,
Great.
I love
Awesome.
that.
Love that. Okay. Next one here for you. Who's your favorite person or people to follow or draw inspiration from? you have any good recommendations there?
Yes. So actually, I follow Elon Musk, and I the reason I like him is that so there is nothing that you cannot achieve, right? So sky is not the limit. There is way beyond that, and I love that, and I really follow Elon Musk quite closely, and Oprah Winfrey as well. So these two are my favorite
Awesome.
entrepreneurs. Yeah.
Very cool. Two different
Love that.
worlds for sure, and people, but that's great. And then last one for me, and I'll turn over to Ivy. But I was curious, kind of, what's your favorite prediction for 2025, kind of within our space here? Anything particular?
Yes, it might sound a bit cheesy, but I want this podcast to become like so good that it spreads a lot of good word around customer success.
Appreciate you.
This is the first big thing I'm doing in 2025 actually. So I feel that this should become like really people should listen to this, people should like this, and then talk to us more about customer success. And I would really want that. So, yay, I think
Awesome.
this is
Yeah,
the podcast
I
for
love that.
future.
Yeah, we
You
appreciate that. Yeah, that's definitely hopefully
I
gonna
knew
come true.
yeah, I knew I liked you when I met you, Arti. For a fun fact, a hater, I met Arti. I hosted like some customer success event for
Right.
leaders, and Arti was one of the people who showed up, and she
That's
had
right.
so much wisdom to share with everybody. I knew I liked her since the beginning.
Yeah.
And generally, also to piggyback to what you just shared with us, Arti, one thing that I have realized is that from meeting other CS leaders on LinkedIn, there is so many people that have so much knowledge like yourself, and all they need really is a platform for them to be able to share the knowledge, especially with the Middle East. So we're so honored to have you today on this episode. There is one question I'm so eager to ask you, and that is, what is one life philosophy you like to live by?
So that's ikigai. So I really live by ikigai. I believe in like you should do what you're passionate for, and that should get you some money as well. And I think I'm like so that's exactly Ikigai is about, right? So you should be working to what you like in your life, know what you want, what makes you happy, and eventually it should get you some bucks as well. So I think I love customer success, and I live by Ikigai. Ikigai is my life philosophy, anyways. Like yeah, so.
I love it. I
That's
love it.
awesome. That's
Uh,
awesome.
and lastly, what have you been up to? Obviously, the beginning of the year just happened. Do you have any major plans happening this year for yourself? And lastly, where can people find you?
So I'm very social. So people will always find me on LinkedIn. Like I'm my chief LinkedIn officer. That's what like our MD called me. Like okay, party has not posted it. That's a bit bizarre. When they go to parties, they hide because they think that I'm going to post that picture. And I was like, guys, please save yourself. No, I'll not. So yes, they can always find me on LinkedIn. I'm very social. I just now finished a most amazing holiday. I'm thanking God enough for that. So Northern Lights was on my bucket list. So I went to Finland. My daughter had the
Nice.
whole Santa Claus, a dream
Amazing.
of hers, and I
Oh,
had my Aurora Borealis. So I'm like super happy and pumped about that. But in the new years, there are a lot of new challenges. So I'm looking forward to embracing them. We have a biggest event of our company called as the Temenos Kickoff that kicks off on this Sunday. So basically, the next week, like the entire globe is going to be in Dubai. So you will not be surprised if you find a lot of terminals in Sudan. And the food, and we have for the first time ever a CS day. So basically, it's a global CS day where we are completely focusing on customer success strategy for next year. So I'm really
Nice.
excited.
Awesome. Amazing. That's awesome, Artie. Thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your story, your perspectives, and all the great wisdom for the audience. I really appreciate it. And yeah, it's been a blast having you on.
Absolutely. Thanking you both as well. It was absolute pleasure spending time with you guys this morning. Thank you so very much for having me and bringing me onto this platform. That's really nice. Thank you.
Thanks, Arti.
Thank you, Ati.
All right,
Thank
cheers.
you. Thanks a lot, guys.
We want to thank our sponsors for supporting the Sussex Revenue podcast. RevSetter is the #1 customer success and management platform in the Middle East region, offering global capabilities mixed with regional solutions that helps your CS, account management, and go-to-market teams 10x efficiency, improve customer experience, and turbocharge customer retention rates.
And thank you to Medlify, a leading marketplace. Workers and employers in the healthcare space needs and demands meet to create benefits for both sides. Thank you again, and we'll see you next time.